Shabbat Shalom, Carl.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom to our community. Wherever you're sitting in front of your screen, you are part of a collective that is coming together for celebration. Yesterday at this time, some of us were just finishing a Zoom service for Mincha Tisha B'Av, the saddest day of the year that in the afternoon begins to give way to hope. And as a result, the day, the Shabbat after Tisha B'Av, is called Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort, the beginning words of chapter 40 of Isaiah. And so may all of us on this Shabbat find ourselves comforted, buffeted from the dangers, from the awareness of darkness. May we each feel both surrounded by light and a glow from within. Page 10, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh, Avarachama, Mishoch Avdach, Eretzona, Yarutz Avdach, Kimo Ayam, Yishtachave, Muhadara, Ki Erev Lo, Yediduta, Mino Fetzuv Vechotam, Adonai Ziv Haolam, Nafshi Cholat Ahavata, Na Elna Refanala Beharola Nam Ziva Az Tirchazek V'tidrape V'haita lach Shivchat Olam Yai-da-dai-dai-da-dai Yai-da-dai-dai-dai-dai Yai-da-dai-dai-dai-dai Yai-da-dai Yai-da-dai-dai-dai Yai-da-dai-dai-dai-dai 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 Yai Kabbalat Shabbat begins on page 11. Let's go sing to Adonai. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, Adonai. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, Adonai. Naria, Naria, Tsui Shenu, Nekadma, Fanda Betoda. Naria, Naria, Tsui Shenu, Bizmirot, Rialo, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Ladonai, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Ladonai. Ki HaGadol Adonai Melech Gadol, Kol Elohim, Ki Yahu Elohim. Page 12 at the marker. Arba'im Shana,
Arba'im Shana,
Akut Bidol,
Akut Bidol,
Vahomar,
Vahomar,
Am To'e Levaveh, Vehem Lo Yadu,
Hem Lo Yadu,
Dirachai,
Dirachai,
Asher Nishbati V'Yapi, Im Yivaun El Menuchati. Yaidai, yaidai, Page 13. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Bachu Shemo, Basru Miyom, Liyom, Yeshuato, Sapru, Ragohim, Kevodo, Bechol Hamim, Niflotav, Ki Gadol Adonai. Umeolam me'od Norao Al kol Elohim Ki kol Elohim Hamim Elilim V'Adonai Shemayim Asa Hod ve'Adam Lefanav Oz ve'Tiferet B'Mikdasho Havu Adonai, Mishpachot Amim Havu Adonai, Kavod Va'oz Havu Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Se'o Mincha, Uvo U'lechatzrotai. Yishtachu L'Adonai Arot Kodesh. At the marker on page 14, Yismechu Hashamayim,
Yismechu Hashamayim,
V'tagel Haaretz,
V'tagel Haaretz,
Yeram Hayam,
Ram Hayam,
Umelo,
Lo,
Yaloz Sadai,
Yaloz Sadai,
V'chol Asher Bo,
V'chol Asher Bo,
Aziranenu,
Aziranenu,
Kol Atzeya,
Kol Otzeya,
Lifnei Adonai Kiva,
Adonai Kiva,
Kiva Lishpot Haaretz,
Kiva Lishpot Haaretz,
Yishpot Tevel B'tzedek, Ve'amim Be'emunato. Page 15. Adonai Malach, נסתכל הארץ, ישמחו עם רבים, ענב בערפל, סביבו, צדק ומשפט, נכון כיסו, אש לבניו תלך, וזלהם סביב צרב, העירו ברקב תבל, ראתה ותחל הארץ. הרים פרנאי ועשו מפני אדוני. Bottom of 16. Or zaru l'tzadik u'lishrei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai ve'odu zecher kodsho. Page 17. Sing to Adonai a new song, for Adonai has worked wonders. Dai, 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 dai.
Yeah.
Die, 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 שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. Bottom of 18. Leave Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek ve'amim me'sharim. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lahakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lahakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise, page 21. Bizmor leDavid, Havu Adonai b'nei Eli הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני הדגת קודש, וכל אדוני המים אל הכבוד הרים, אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני על זהב-ארנון, ויקדם כמו עגל לבנון, וציון כמו בן רמים, כמו בן רמים. כל אדוני חוצה לבודש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יכול איילות, ויחסו ירול, ובחלום כולו אומר כבוד, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למבוא ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז ועמו ייתן, אדוני יבורך את עמו בשלום. We greet the Shabbos bride on page 23. Lecha Dodi Yigrat Kala Pene Shabbat Nikabla Shamo v'zachor b'dibur echad yishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem tiferet v'litila le'echad Dodi li'ikrat kahala Shabbat Nikabla Likrat Shabbat L'chov Nelcha Ki Mekor Habaracha Merosh Mikedem Nesucha Sov Ma'aseh V'machshava T'chila Lecha Dodi Kala Pene Shabbat Nikabla Mikdash Melech Yemelucha Komitzei Metov Hafecha Rav Lach Shevet Yemegavacha Hu Yachamor Alaichem Lecha Dodi Yigrat Kala Pene Shabbat Nikabla. Page 25 we continue. Lecha Dodi Yigrat Kala Pene Shabbat Nikabla. Dodi Krata Pene Shabbat Nikabla Vayulim Shisa Sosaich Rachaku Komev Olaich Yosis Olaich Elohaich Kisus Chatan Al עלה לכדודי לקראת קהלה הנה שבת נקבלה לכדודי לקראת קהלה הנה שבת נקבלה ימינו שמאל תפרוצי את אדוני תעריצי על ידי בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לכדודי לקראת קהלה הנה שבת נקבלה לכדודי לקראת קהלה הנה שבת נקבלה. We rise and face the doorway to greet the Shabbos bride. Holy v'shalom ateret ba'ala גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לכדודי לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה לכדודי לקראת קהלה בני שבת נקבלה Having greeted the Shabbos bride, it's time for our psalm for the day of Shabbat, page 27. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, le'hagid b'boker chastecha, ve'munacha b'halelot, alei asar, alei nav, alei gaon bechinor. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodo l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. כי שימחתני אדוני בפעליך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Page 28. צדיק אתה יברח, יברח, צדיק אתה יברח, צדיק אתה יברח, יברח, צדיק אתה יברח. כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, יזכה. כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, יזכה. עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נבע קודש אדוני לאורך ימים. That's Kabbalat Shabbat. Warner's Kaddish is found on page 30. Your Cider in morning, please join. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad yivra kirutev v'yamlich malchutev, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach v'olam u'olmei almaya, Barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Yithadar v'yitalev yithalal shemei dekudisha bricha. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'yimeru amen. Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen.
Amen.
Se shalom bimromav yaseh aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Rabbi Spitz.
When we think about the flow of our Jewish year, the most serious day is Yom Kippur, a day of self-reflection and awareness of our limited time and our shortcomings. The saddest day of the year is Tisha B'Av, the memorial day that marks the catastrophes of the destruction of the first and the second temple. And yet, there's this remarkable passage in the Talmud, Masechet Ta'anit, the tractate of our sages that deal with fasts. The Mishnah is the conversations of the rabbis of the early centuries, edited in about the year 200 in Israel. And then the rabbis of Babylonia would continue to discourse on the Mishnah. And that together equals Talmud. Here's what's written in the Mishnah. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel said, Israel had no days as festive as Asar Chamisha Asar Ba'av, on the 15th day of Av, Uva Yom Kippur, and on Yom Kippur, Shebehen Banot Yerushalayim Yotzot. On that day, the daughters of Jerusalem would go out, the clay lavad shu'ulin, dressed in borrowed white garments. Shelo levayesh et misha ein lo, that no one should be embarrassed that they lacked for those garments. And then the Mishnah continues describing Yom Kippur afternoon and the 15th of Av, 6 days after the day of mourning. The maidens would go out from Jerusalem and dance in the vineyards. Umahayu omrotim, what would they say? Bachur, young man, sa na einecha, lift up your eyes. Ure ma ata boreh lach, and see what you choose for yourself. Al teten enecha benoi, don't just look for beauty. Ten enecha b'mishpacha, place your eyes on the quality of the family. For we are taught, sheker hachen vehevel hayofi, deceitful is beauty, vanishing is appearances. Isha yirat Adonai hi titalal, but a woman who has awe for the ever-present one, she will be praised. And so we have this reminder that out of those deepest struggles of Yom Kippur and the prayer for God to forgive us for our shortcomings is the awareness that God is in the business of forgiveness. And so Yom Kippur afternoon was identified as a time for renewal, for beautiful maidens going out in white, quality of hopefulness of finding their beshert, their destined other. And likewise, on the day of greatest darkness, in which we reminded ourselves of the pains and are called on that day to be as if in mourning, the two fast days, Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, both open into the most rejoicing experiences of the calendar. I want to share one little additional piece from the Talmud, which will then elaborate on this borrowed clothing. Remember, the Mishnah said, and the words of the Mishnah are that the daughters of Jerusalem would go out with garments that were borrowed. And now the Rab, Shelo levayesh misha ein lo, that's still the Mishnah, that no woman should feel embarrassed, ashamed, due to her lacking. And so the rabbis now in Babylonia, they ask, what was the nature of this borrowing? Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught in a breita, a conversation. Bat Melech sho'elet mi bat Kohen Gadol. It's kind of a hierarchy of status that everyone had to ask to borrow from somebody of a lower rank among the aristocracy, so that a king's daughter would borrow a white garment from the Kohen Gadol's daughter. The Kohen Gadol's daughter would borrow from the Sagan, the deputy's daughter of the priests, and the deputy's daughter would borrow from the daughter of a Kohen anointed for battle. And the daughter of the Kohen anointed for battle, she would borrow from the daughter of an ordinary Kohen. And all other Jews, v'chol Yisrael, sho'alin zeh mizeh, the rest of Israel, one would borrow from another. Kedei shelo yitbayesh et misha ein lo, so that no one would be embarrassed by a lacking. This is, for me, a remarkably beautiful image. The concern of the sages, of young people, that among young people, there should be the opportunity for marriage and more. That in trying to allure a man on this day of celebration, a woman should be dressed like every other woman in white. Admittedly, there's finer fabrics. And admittedly, in the time of the temple, there was a hierarchy of a king and Kohanim. But everybody should borrow from a lesser status so as not to artificially present themselves as more than they were, more appealing than they were. And in fact, what the Mishnah asks women to remind the men is that yes, beauty is important, but even more is the nature of one's family, which again in a traditional culture meant the nature of the character that their family represented and had passed on to their daughters. And so on this, the Shabbat, after Tisha B'Av, the day after Tisha B'Av, we are reminded that darkness does pass, and it passes into rejoicing. And that nature of that rejoicing is a quality of equality, an opportunity for young maidens and for all amongst us. Ribono Shalom, Master of the universe, may we be resilient. May we know that COVID land is a journey we're on, but a journey in which we will reach the other side. We can only imagine the rejoicing, like D-Day, when COVID goes away. May we live with the faith of rejoicing ahead, and may we do so knowing that with equality comes quality of celebration. May we indeed know that a time will yet come to rejoice. Amen.
Our Ma'ariv service begins on page 39A. Our call to prayer. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Voed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's divisions, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Hamariv Aravim. Page 40. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadata Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shachvenu u'v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha U'v'mitzvotecha Li'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu V'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla V'avatecha al tasir mimenu li'olamim Baruch atah Adonai
Shemo.
Ohev Amo Yisrael. 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachpecha v'kumecha uv'shartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha v'haya yisha tishmoel mitzvotai. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Amen. Kavakayam Aleinu.
Let's read together in English, page 43b and 44. You proclaim the covenant on the seventh day. You declared it and decreed it. We listened and heard it. You loved this day we inherited, delighting in its remembrance, and began its command with the word, remember, Zachor. From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Jeshurun, the people you redeemed, securing the cause of righteousness. You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed. On the seventh day you rested, and on this day, Israel, your people rest. To honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise, willingly accepting God's sovereignty. Then Moses, Miriam, and the people Israel joyfully sang to you, who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? מלכותך רבניך בוקר ים לפני משה זה אלינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל. Page 45. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ושמור צאתנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים ועל כל יושבי תבל. We rise, page 46. Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עושה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפח. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכנו יומכו ובחייך בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבו מבורך, עולם לא מעלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתבהר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר, ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירה בעלמא וימרו.
Our Torah reading this Shabbat is Parshat Ve'etchanan. It's the Torah reading with the most repeated lines, including what we chanted together as part of our prayer, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Here, ever-present one is our Creator. The ever-present one is one. I invite you in the midst of our private Amidah to bring those words to mind and allow them to resonate for you with the question as the cornerstone of Jewish faith. For me, to be a Jew is to believe and fill in the blank. Page 47, we begin our private prayers, 47 to 52.
יעשה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו v'meru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'miru amen. ויכולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכול אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ויעמוד דברי קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכם ובימיכם ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו
אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיא. יתברך יתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה
בריחו.
לאלוה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ברכתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו
אמן.
יתקבל צלות הון אבות הון דכל ישראל, אדם אבו הון דבשמיא ויאמרו
אמן.
שלמה רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו
אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו Amen.
So traditionally, around the Friday night table, we begin with Shalom Aleichem, as it's said after the evening prayers and acknowledges angels that accompany us on Shabbat. We then traditionally chant the final chapter of Proverbs, chapter 31, Mishlei, Eshet Chayil Meyimsa, a woman of valor who can find, which includes the line that we saw in the Talmud in the mouths of those young women. Sheker hachen vehevel hayofi. Deceptive is what appears to be charm. Beauty is fleeting, but a woman in awe of the ever-present one, she is to be admired. And traditionally, a husband recites that for his wife at the table, and then has the privilege of blessing their children. And we in our community use the opportunity of Friday night to bless our children, and we do so for a son.
For boys, we say, Simcha Elohim ki Ephraim v'ki Menashe. May God bless you as He blessed Ephraim and Menashe.
And for a daughter, we say, Yisimech Elohim kasar Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like the matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And then with the priestly blessings, we bless our children. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May Adonai bless and protect you. May Adonai's countenance shine upon you. And may Adonai bestow kindness upon you. May Adonai's countenance be lifted toward you. And may you and may Adonai grant you peace. And we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Aleinu, page 56. Oh, Kiddush, sorry. Kiddush first.
L'kadesh, to make sacred. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'hava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'mahaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikrahei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch ata Adonai v'kahadesh hashabbat.
Amen. Aleinu, page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, atet gedula liotzer breshi, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, V'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, v'chavim modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu teshamayim, yotzei haaretz, u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim imah, Ushchinatu zo, begov he miromi. Eloheinu, eino, emet malkeinu, efes ulato, kakatu betorato, viadata hayom, vahashevota, elavavecha. Ki Adonai hu Elohim, bashamayim imah, v'aretz, mitachat ein od, Eloheinu. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch li'olam va'er, v'ne'ema, v'hoye Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
Kaddish Yatom is on page 58. We extend condolences to Phyllis Abrams on the passing of her mother, with the funeral having taken place today in New Jersey. There will be the opportunity to be a source of comfort to Phyllis on Wednesday evening, when we will have a Zoom Shiva Minyan at 8:15, honoring her mother on the last night of Shiva. We observe, among others, the yurtzites this week of Judy Salomon, Rose Oransky, William Lippman, Lily Seif, Sarah Cowan, Pauline and Perry Bernstein, Harold Smetter, Abraham Besser, Theodore Nadelson, Abba Messi, Stephen Small, Abram Isaac Zeigelbaum, Esther Zaratsky, Eshrat Sahati, Esther Molter, and Emmanuel Sokolov. For those observing a yurtzeit or in mourning, I invite you to join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah
Amen.
v'yalmad divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav Ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
Amen.
We continue to be very engaged preparing for high holidays. Carl preparing the family service that'll take place first day Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And it's going to be remarkable. You want to say a word about it, Carl?
I'm just very excited about it. Pulling in many resources, and it's going to be something a little different. And I just hope that you all tune in. And of course, you probably don't need to tune in live. So if you're at the rabbi's service and Amy's service and you finish that, then you could tune into mine after that. So everybody gets to see everything.
That's the one silver lining in this time of screen viewing, is that it's there to be seen at your convenience. And at the same time, we're going to, everybody's going to have as close a seat as you want, on as big a screen as you want, to hopefully take the old in a new format and find it uplifting and heart connecting, both to the prayers and to God and to community. It's going to be a one-off, hopefully, we will see, but it will be extraordinary. And I'm actively working with Amy Robinson Katz and Helene Coulter and Hal Hurwitz and Josh Friedman and Luis Garcia and many others to truly create an experience for all of us that will be worth watching even after high holidays are over. There are many, many events, including Havdalah tomorrow night. I'm glad I'm reminding myself, because my wife Linda and I are scheduled to lead tomorrow night.
Wow.
Glad I remembered. So tomorrow night, go to our website, tune in, and there are services and classes throughout the week, cbi18.org. And we conclude
With Shalom Aleichem, may the Shabbos angels come visit your home and bless you with Shabbos peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharim, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Brochem Leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Mil Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem Leshalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yay, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Carl.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom,
Shalom.
everyone.
Enjoy. May you find rest.